welcome to week 5 of 2026. I guess when you see this, it'll be week 6 already, but you know what I'm trying to say. So today is the something. It's the 28th of January. So this is the last week of the month. I think on Saturday, which is the last day of the month, we'll go over what I used up this month, like for yarn, Larry's moods, etc. Get caught up on his mood scarf, all that end of the month stuff. Obviously a different format than what I was doing last year. Last year I was doing monthly recaps, but I'm liking this weekly format because I get to show you more about behind the scenes of my life and not just, you know, here's what I finished, here's what I finished. So here's what I'm working on. It's not finished, but I'm working on it slowly. I am doing 2 rows of each color. So basically attaching it over here, go one way, go back the other way, snip off. So it's like 1 row really. It's finger knitting, so it is like 1 row. But I'm really liking it. This is the back side. The front side is quite nice. I wasn't going to add in the black originally, but since I had recently gotten 2 skeins of Bernat Blanket Big, the 300 gram skein from Michaels, I got 2 of them. And then I had got 2 skeins from Mainstays Walmart. And I was going to put them all on another blanket, but they're totally different shades of black. So you can see the Bernat Blanket one is more faded than the Mainstays. So this one's much darker. This one's a bit lighter. I didn't think they would look good together. So I thought, you know what, to make this blanket a little bit longer, I'm gonna use the black of the Bernat Blanket. That's what I have been working on. I worked on a little bit last night and this morning, so I will insert those time lapses here. The last 2 days of last week's vlog, so week 4, Larry had 2 a-hole days. He was just in a mood, and I've been trying to figure out what it was. I think the first night I offered him like an extra bowl of food and he gobbled it up, so maybe he was just hangry. So I don't know what the problem was. And then Steve and I were also talking that maybe he just really misses Steve because Steve had last week off of work. Now Steve's back to work, Larry's mad at him, and he's taking it out on me because I'm the one who's home. So who knows? I don't know. Today he seems a bit nicer and more cuddly, so fingers crossed that sticks rather than the a-hole days. So who knows, maybe he just needed to PMS a little bit and get some crankies out. This morning I was at my little volunteer position as snack lady at a local little kids daycare. And today they had grapes, so I had cut those in halves or quarters or whichever, depending on the size of grapes, and also granola bars. So today was an easy one, which was nice. The first day I went, I had to do yogurt and a whole bunch of other things. So that was a bit of a pain, but you know, it's easy cleanup when it's dry foods. If you're curious about the length of this one, and by length I mean width, I guess, there is 30 loops on this one. I just wanted to do something a little bit wider because I decided not to do a border on this one. I think a border would make it look a little bit too busy. I mean, it's gonna look busy enough as it is, but I think a border just, I didn't like the thought of it on this one. So I did a wider base than I usually do. Usually I do 26, 27-ish stitches for like, you know, like a throw blanket size. But this one I wanted just a little bit wider. So I'm going to continue working on this for a little bit. I have to go back into town 2 more times today. It wasn't really planned. I'm supposed to see the chiropractor tomorrow, but I asked him to squeeze me in today. My back is really sore, so I'm hoping that he can kind of depress me a little bit and, you know, get me feeling normal again. Because I find that when my back is out of alignment, like my upper back, then like it affects my lungs because of my asthma, and I have really terrible lungs. Long story there, I'm not going to get into it, but that seems to happen. And then my friend's an esthetician and she had an opening, so I claimed it for 5 p.m. She is going to rip all the nose hairs out of my nose. And I know you're thinking, oh my goodness, doesn't that hurt? And yes, it does a little bit. I mean, it just basically, your eyes sting for like 2 seconds and then you're good. I get it done all the time. Rather than, you know, doing the whole nose hair trimmer thing myself, I just go to my friend Nicole and there's 2 Q-tips that she puts up there, lets the wax harden, and then yanks them out. I know, sounds delightful, doesn't it? At first it was a little scary, but I'm so used to it now, it's fine. Chiropractor appointment's at 2:45. I asked my friend Nicole to let me know if she had any cancellations because I see her at 5. So coming home in between kind of sucks because we do live like, say like 15 minutes out of town. So come home for an hour, go back into town, kind of sucks, but what can you do? It's just nice to have the service providers available when you need them. So I'm going to put another row or 2 into this blanket before I have to leave. It's only about 1:50 p.m. right now. My appointment's at 2:45, so I have about 45 minutes to work on this, I think. I have Steve's tablet in here so I can watch some YouTube while I'm doing this because my computer's over there. But if I turn the table around and work that way, then like the light is blinding from the window because all the snow glare. So I'd rather face my yarn wall and have a little tablet here just for YouTube or music or whichever. I have this beauty all finished up. Started last night, finished this afternoon. I haven't even looked at it yet, rolled out, so here we go. Ooh, so pretty. Very nice. I think it looks really lovely. I was going for like a mid-century modern vintage type of look. I think I achieved it. Let me show you the colors up close. So we have, starting with black, red brick, I think for a second, French vanilla, rusted, yeah. This one is red brick, and then French vanilla again. So cute. I really didn't want to end up putting the black and orange side by side, but I had to do it in the end because I ran out of the rest. And I think it looks gorgeous. I like the variegated in it. I think that, you know, just really brings out some texture to it.
Editing last week's vlog.
Ma said y'all enjoy watching me. I sure think it's creepy, but hey, I know I'm cute.
Working hard on the knitted swatches. Spent the evening watching Crochet by Sammy, then turning in for the night.
Hello and happy Thursday from the couch. It is currently 11 a.m.-ish, and this morning I had a chiropractor appointment, a follow-up one, which was my original appointment, but he fit me in yesterday to give me one good crunch, as I call it, and then this morning he helped me again with like the remainder. So I'm feeling so much better now, thank goodness. After that, I went to the grocery store, just got a few things. I wanted to make tacos for supper tonight, so yum yum. Then I went over to my friend Haley's house and picked up an order that she had made for me. It's inappropriate, but might show it to you. I don't know. I'll give you a warning before you see it if you're offended easily by things. It's just something small for my office, but I wanted to support her small business. When I have swatches to do for Spin Right, my former workplace, I like to do one of them per day. So I've been knitting needles here and just gonna work on this with this thin yarn. It's taking so long. When I have these swatches to do for my former workplace, of course I get paid. Just want to put that out there in case you're new to my channel. But it's for new products that they're testing, and then, you know, they have to have swatches to send off for testing, and then they also have to do tests within the office and stuff. So a wash test, flammability test, a whole bunch of other things, dye test, see if the dye runs, etc., etc. So I'm working on some swatches, of course, this week. I have 2 of them finished out of the 14 I have to do, I think. Working on that slowly. One of them is taking quite a few hours, so I'm going to ask for more money per swatch just because the yarn is so thin. But it's nice to have the time off to be able to do it. I used to take my swatches into my workplace and, you know, between typing sentences and whatever, I would just put a few stitches in. And, you know, it went okay there and stuff. But, of course, you know, here at home, I have a lot more time to concentrate on them. Third one started. I can't really show it to you. That's what I'm going to be working on for a little while here. Yesterday, you've seen everything that I completed besides, of course, the swatch. Made that blanket in the afternoon, talked to my friend on the phone, but I had to leave the house 3 times yesterday, as I said, so it was just a busy day. As soon as I turned off the camera and hopped into bed last night, I fell asleep. So this morning I was up at 5 a.m. because I fell asleep at 10:30 p.m. last night. So, oh well, I got a lot of editing done this morning, but for now I'm going to turn on a movie or some YouTube, I don't know what. It's a little bright in the living room right now for a movie, so probably some YouTube and just do some knitting. It's now about 5 p.m. I took a little bit of a break from knitting earlier, did some housework, you know, just life things, really. I messaged my best friend to see if she was available for, you know, a board game or something this afternoon. She works from home, she's a massage therapist, but her day was full, so that didn't work out, and then they're away all weekend at a hockey tournament, so can't even see her this weekend. That jerk. How dare she have children who play sports? I don't know how much footage I'm going to get this week because of all these swatches. Like, I can't really show them to you because they're probably being developed. I mean, like, sure, you may see them a little bit when I'm working on them, but I can't be like, oh, look at this. So, oh well. I'll try to film as much as I possibly can. A lot of it will be Larry content, I guess. I am craving some plushies, though. I haven't made any in like 2 or 3 weeks. So, I feel like I want to make 1 or 2 this week. Maybe more, I don't know. I would love to go to the farmer's market soon, make some money, but it's so bitterly cold still. I think today feels like, well, let's say like negative 22 as like the low, but I think the high was, so like the warmest temperature was negative 14. Oh well. Someday I'll go back to the farmer's market. I have now applied to a few indoor markets, just in the community here, some small town events. I haven't applied for anything in the big cities just because the fees are so astronomical now. It's insane. Like, there's some organizers in Kitchener-Waterloo or London, Ontario, and they're asking $300 for 1 day. And it's like, no. Especially, you go and you take plushies, and, there's 8 other plushie vendors there. It's not fair to charge all of us $300. We have a new thrift store locally. It actually used to be the retail store for my workplace, my former workplace, for Spinrite. And it's now a thrift store run by the Christian school. And, like, all the funds go back to them and, like, different events and, charities that they support, etc. And on Facebook, they usually post, like, their larger items, like, find of the week type thing. And they had a wicker shelf identical to the one that I take my markets already. Like, same make, same swirl pattern, everything. And I was like, I messaged them and I was like, I won't be in town until tomorrow. Could I please can I purchase this if I transfer? Like money transfer. And they said, yeah, no problem. We do that all the time for people. And I said, okay, all right. Send me the cost, etc. Well, they wanted $75 for it. I was like, oh, that's out of my budget, definitely. I said the max I could spend is like 20. And they're like, sorry, like, we know we can sell it for 75. And I said, oh yeah, you absolutely can. I had said, wish I could afford it. Because it would be so nice to have a matching one for my markets, but it's just not going to happen for $75. And honestly, the one that I purchased, like the white wicker shelf I'm talking about, I did a market last year in May, and then on the way I had seen the signs, my favorite sign, estate sale, and it was like an older gentleman selling like his mom's stuff, and he's like, make me an offer, and I said $10. He said, sure, get out of my way. So, I mean, we probably could have charged $100 and somebody would have paid that for the beautiful shelf, but I was lucky because I was the first one there in the morning and I got the shelf. Somebody even tried to buy it off me as I was walking away with it, but I like wicker too much. I wasn't going to budge on that one. And I wish the one at the thrift store wasn't $75. If it was $20, I would have driven into town and got it today. I've just been watching YouTube. I was going to watch a movie earlier, but the living room was too bright at that time. And then by the time it gets a little bit darker, so right now, like 4:35 p.m., Steve's going to be home in a little bit, and, like, it'll be supper time, and, won't have time to watch a full movie without interruptions, so. Yeah, I could watch a movie upstairs in the bedroom, but it's so cold up there because there's no insulation. Working too much upstairs if I can help it. In the summer, it's nice because there's an air conditioner in the room. I've accidentally created an extra stitch in my knitting swatch, and now there's, like, a little bit of a hole. I could just sew it together later. I'm not too picky about them, but I thought it was a drop stitch, so I, knitted with it. But it created a stitch, and therefore it created like a small hole, like right in the middle of the swatch. I just didn't want it to be a drop stitch because, that's even more of a pain in the butt. Here's a funny story for you. I don't know if I ever talked about this on my YouTube channel. So my grandmother, my dad's mom, she taught me to knit when I was 3 years old. I was this 3-year-old child walking around knitting needles. People were so concerned because, accidents, people trip, people fall, especially 3-year-olds, but I was always safe. I did good. And Grandma always had needle stoppers on my needles, like, like soft silicone ones, so they weren't, eye gouging or anything, or puncturing. And, of course, I didn't live with my grandmother, like this grandmother. I remember calling her on the phone one time, and I had said, if I want to decrease my knitting to make it, go smaller, like a triangle, or, just decrease it, how would I do that? Because it was over the phone, and because of the lingo, she had said, oh, you just dropped a stitch. I was like, oh, perfect, okay, no problem. So I literally took a stitch and I just, popped it off my needle and I, like, dropped it, right? And then, the next time I seen her, she goes, why is there this big hole? And I said, you told me to drop a stitch. And then she goes, well, why would you drop it off your needle? And I said, you said to drop a stitch. And she said, oh, no, that's just, like, the term for it. When you want to decrease, you literally take 2 stitches and you knit them together. And I was like, well, I would have understood that over the phone. I think at that time, I think it was probably like 5 or 6. Because, you know, when she first started me with knitting, I just did garter stitch and, like, you know, we'd work on it together. But I think it was the first time I ever tried to decrease something, so I had to call her on the phone and ask. Oh, well. I'll never forget that, though, because it was my one of my first projects that I was, you know, trying to pay attention to and, you know, just actually make it look nice. And then it turned out with all these holes because I was told to drop a stitch. Larry's in the other room, my office right now, looking out the window and woofing at everybody's walking by because, you know, he thinks he owns the street. How dare they walk by? We live in a small community, so a lot of people are walking in the evenings, even in this crazy cold weather. I've been in a lot of, like, back pain this week, and honestly, I think it is my lungs rather than my back, just because of my severe asthma. And usually the crisp air doesn't really hurt me, but because it's been so unbelievably cold this year, like, this is, like, record cold for our area, I think that's why I'm so sore right now, because just going outside earlier to empty the garbage and, you know, take him out and stuff like that, I was just instantly sore, like in my back, you know, where your lungs sit and like that. It's painful. So it's unfortunate because I like going for winter WALKs rather than, you know, humid WALKs. For breakfast this morning, I decided to have cereal. Usually I have cereal as like a nighttime snack, but today I had it for breakfast. So that prompted me to ask you guys the question, what's your favorite cereal? Is it a child's cereal? Is it, you know, Crispix or something else? I'm curious. I would say my favorite cereal is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't know if they have it in like other countries. I had Lucky Charms for breakfast this morning. The ones with like little marshmallows in them. I don't like it that much, but it was on sale. But Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Golden Grahams are probably my 2 favorites. Tonight for supper, I am making tacos. When I was in town earlier for the chiropractor, I just quickly slipped into the smaller grocery store and got all the ingredients I needed. I already had beef here and I already had a taco kit here. We like the ones with hard and soft shells. It's nice to have the variety. But I'd seen that they had like cheesy shells. And I was like, that's pretty cool, but I just don't know if I would like them. So I like to stick with things that we're comfortable with because you never know if you like something or if you dislike something. It's hard to try new things. So when I was at the grocery store, I had to pick up lettuce. I got some of the little small round tortilla chips, so Tostitos rounds, because after I make tacos tonight, we'll have a little bit left over, and then tomorrow I throw that into taco salad. So I bought 2 heads of lettuce, one for tomorrow, one for tonight. Tonight we'll just use like a little bit. I never picked up any sour cream. That would be Steve that would eat it, but he always says he can do without, so if I remember to purchase it, I do. If I'm on a budget, no I don't, because it's like $4 for a tub now. We already have salsa here. So today I picked up tomatoes, lettuce, and I guess we already had cheese here. Because we got cheese at Costco or wherever we were last weekend. I'm the only one who eats the tomato. Steve absolutely hates tomato. He says it tastes like dirt. Which I can understand. It's not for everybody. I didn't like them as a kid, but I like them as an adult. And, you know, I just diced a few up for myself. So half the tomato will be for tomorrow. Gotta be smart about leftovers. But now I'm thinking about, I don't know if I have the right salad dressing for taco salad. But I had to volunteer tomorrow morning, so I quickly slip back into the grocery store if I need to. I might have the salad dressing here, so I'll check first, obviously. Can you be gentle with this treat? So gentle. Thank you. Good boy. Can you be gentle? So very gentle. Thank you. Gentle baby. Gentle boy. Here's a big piece, but you still be gentle. Good job. All done.
Done! There is no
Well done.
such thing as no more treats. Dag nabbit! Now hold on, lady. Larry must make sure those are some safe groceries. Yep, so far those pass. Smells like a store full of the good stuff. Fuds. An orange bag? Does that mean fat them there is cheesies? Hey, now bring back that bag of cheesies. I agree with Steve, these smell like dirt. Lettuce? Gross. Now give me some so I can spit it right back on the floor where it belongs. Chicken butthole nuggets? Yum.
As you would have seen in that little text box, it's now No, it's not Thursday. It's Friday. It's now Friday. I was supposed to volunteer this morning, or so I thought, but I messaged the group chat, and I guess the other ladies on today's shift. So I got to stay home, which was nice. I was ready to leave the house, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to check just in case. And good thing I checked, because she was already there. So today I am actually going to make some plushies, maybe one or two. And I really want to make some bunnies coming up for Easter, so I can, post them on my website, social media, etc., in advance. And I think about 3 or 4 different bunny patterns, and I saved one on Instagram. And then, of course, Shannon at Case and Crochet, that cutie pie, she had done a bunny pattern, or like a bunny pattern roundup. So I looked at all of her stuff that she had made, and some of them were really cute. I don't know if I got any of the same patterns. I honestly don't remember at this point. I've looked at so many this morning. It's currently, I would say, around 11 a.m. I think I've been up since 6 today. So this 6-foot table for my blankets is still right here. The tablet's right here. So I can move the tablet into the living room. Found some plushies in there after lunch. But then it comes to the point where it's like, what would make a good bunny color? So I made a bunny out of Cloud 9 before, and I thought it was very, very cute. So I'm probably going to do Cloud 9 for sure. This is the only skein I have of this. It was, I think, a thrifted purchase, maybe. I don't remember. But it's a nice one. And then, of course, I want to do some solid colors, so like some pastels. So I have this pastel blue, pastel pink. I love pastel blue. I think it's such a beautiful color. So funny when you say this. I also have some whipped cream. And that one. I'm not too concerned about the skeins down underneath, like the table, because those are mainly where I keep my extras. So the bottom 2 rows are where I keep like extra skeins of colors that are already up here. So I know to use these ones up here first. If you're curious how I organize my yarn stash, I think I can, I'll link one of the videos up here. Good dance. So I'll link the video up there when I reorganized my office last September, like when I painted and everything. I explained my thought process behind my yarn wall. I do have this nice, what's it called? Demi Pearl yarn in the color Navajo Bay. That's what I was trying to think of. Also I have this nice color. It's like apricot, I think, but an orange bunny. I'm not making peeps this year. I made peeps last year. They barely sold. I do have this nice gold color from Demi Pearl. I think that will make a cute bunny. And then it's not too feminine, I think the last one I'm going to pull is a gray. It is a, I think, baby blanket dappled. So here are some variegated options. The dappled, this one, can't remember what it's called, but it is available on Yarn Inspirations. And Cloud 9. And we have the somewhat solids. So the bottom 2 are solid, and then this one's the whipped cream color. Then we have gold and Navajo Bay from Demi Pearl. Obviously, I'm not going to end up using all of these, but I figured, I'll put them in a bucket, put them on the couch, so I can make my choices. Wanted to show you all the bunny patterns I purchased this morning. I know I shouldn't be buying patterns, but oh well. So this one is by plushies. It's just like a little mini bunny. I want to do some of different sizes. I really don't prefer doing like the legs that way, but that's okay. I'll survive. The next one is Buttons the Bunny by MelissaCrochets. I watch her YouTube channel all the time. So I thought that was fun. It popped up on Instagram, so yay. Next up is Bun Bun Snuggler, and that is by Madeline James Co., but now called Todd and James, or Todd plus James. She's having a really good sale on her Etsy right now. So if you need patterns and like you want to stock up on a few things, they're only $1 each, and that's Canadian, so I don't know what they are in the US. But $1 each, don't mind if I do. So because they're $1 each, I also bought this little guy. I thought he was cute, so it's added to the cart. And then the last crochet bunny pattern I think that I purchased was this one here, and it's by Miss Blue Buttons. I thought it was so cute. It also looks pretty like mini in size. And I like that it has the bobble stitch legs. I don't know which one I'm going to make first, but I guess I have to decide. I'm going to start with the first one I showed you from plushies Patterns. Just the cute little bunny. I brought in my big bucket of yarn. All the colors I showed you, I'm not going to pick it up and show it to you in the bucket because it's going to spill everywhere. And it's cute on this pattern. She has like a little heart embroidery on it. And something that's great about Steve's tablet right here, I can zoom in on things. On my crappy little Amazon tablet, I can't zoom in on anything. Okay, well this one being so cute and small, let's see. I'm going to use one of the ones I don't have a full skein of. So I think I'll use Cloud 9 first. It's just such a cute yarn.
I think I'll take this time to air out my bits.
Bunny's just about finished. I had to run to my office to grab the stuffing because I always forget that. A lot of the times I do have it saved here in the living room, like a little, like half a pillow. But I haven't made plushies in a while, so I had to put everything in my office. And I also grabbed another skein of Cloud 9 just in case. But luckily I did not end up needing it. This is what I have left. So yay, that was exciting to see that come to fruition. So I could either keep this for my scrap bins, or my scrap yarn bin, whatever, or I could shove it in the head. I'm gonna see if it fits in the head, just because I might as well use it up. Okay, it's not gonna fit. That's okay. I'll save it for my scrap bins. We can use it another day. Plus I love doing scrappy projects. Just need a tiny bit more stuffing probably. And because this is a tinier plushie, I really want to embroider the eyes on this one because I'm assuming it'll go to like a small child. I always keep some black worsted weight yarn on my little side table over here, so I don't have to run and get it every time. Guess I'll have to do a nose for the bunny as well. Maybe I'll do the nose first just so I don't mess up the eye placement. I have this pink here. Something that I always forget to do is look at the last page of the pattern, because sometimes there's face shaping or, you know, just small details. So I should actually look. Okay, on this pattern she had all the placement, which was really cool, of like everything you need to embroider. Honestly, I'm just gonna freehand it. But for a beginner, that's a great pattern. Making the nose 3 stitches across. Here's how the nose looks. I think it looks really cute. The eyes are now on, and so is a little embroidered heart. I'm so glad I think it was Shannon from Case and Crochet, talk about how the eyes always look like funny on camera, but they look perfect in person. And I'm so glad she said that, because it's true. I thought I was going crazy for the longest time when I showed you my plushies, because like on camera, even when you're editing, you're like, why do they look so funny? So you pull the plushie back out of your plushie bags, and they look perfectly fine. So I'm so glad she said that, because I thought I was losing it. And I've lost it a long time ago, but this was really tripping me up. But I think it's so cute. Adorable. Not sure how long it took me, but it will say here on my camera. So it'll say, and then I'll put the time up here, so like in minutes. I don't think it took me that long, but I would make this again. It's really cute. I think this size, because I'd say like you can fit her in her palm, so I would probably sell this for 15, maybe 20. Hopefully some of the other ones come out a little bit smaller, because I was hoping to get like a $5 to $10 one as well. And I know I could have done it in a smaller hook like I called for, but no, not gonna happen. The most amount of yarn taken up definitely was the ears. They're half double crochet. I will link all these bunny patterns down below as well in the description box if you want to make them. Just adorable, so cute. And embroidering the heart's pretty easy. I just did 4 strands in total, so 2 on each side.
Larry went in for nap time, so it's time to start a new blanket.
It's now just after 7, so you would have seen me working on that blue blanket earlier. And then I had plans to call my aunt using FaceTime or video chat, whatever, around 3:30. And I figured we'd talk for like an hour or so, but it ended up being 2.5 hours. I think we hung up. Actually, no, maybe it was 3 hours. We hung up around 6:30. So I made supper while we were chatting, and then, I ate supper while we were still chatting. And then her cat started getting crazy, and she needed to go feed them right away, because apparently they grab the paper out of her printer and start shredding it when they're hungry. So that's pretty funny. So we eventually hung up, finished my supper, and then I made this cute little guy. This is the pattern by MelissaCrochets. I think it's so cute. I like the size of this one. This is the demi pearl yarn, and I used an 8mm hook. I think next time maybe I would use a 7, just to see like how it would turn out. But I think he's so cute. And this one I think it would sell probably could sell him for 10, but honestly I might do 5 if like I could make like 20 of these and have them on the table or in my basket, my $5 item basket. So I think he's just adorable. Another thing I would consider next time is maybe doing different colored baubles for the feet, maybe like little pink baubles. The tail does tell you to like color change, like on her pattern, and either way it's adorable and cute. So glad to have this one done. I would definitely make this one again, and I would say it's pretty beginner friendly. I do like the way she has you do the ears. You have to do a chain, and then you work both sides of the chain, leave a little bit of a tail for sewing, and just stitch it in. Could it be done as you're doing the round? Yes, it could be done, but I didn't mind sewing it in. It's pretty fast to do. So that's bunny number 2 done for the day. I don't think I'm going to do a knitted swatch tonight. I know I should, because I like to do one per day. I might start it later when we go upstairs, but in the meantime, I'll probably make another bunny. I kind of want to make the snuggler one next. I think snugglers are so cute. Good morning. It's now Saturday, the 31st of January, so last day of the month. Tomorrow I'm going to calculate everything that I used up in January, like yarn-wise, and we'll go through the projects I made. Also, Larry's moods. I put it already on my Crochet Life Google spreadsheet thing that I use. So everything's going to be in that spreadsheet this year, so I think that'll be handy for myself. Slept in this morning, so that was nice. I think I slept till 7 rather than, 5:30 or 6. And yeah, just felt nice. And then I had a slow morning. I haven't done any video editing in 2 days, so I just uploaded everything basically from my phone. So the phone I use every day, that actually has a microphone working on it. And then I have my old iPhone for time lapses and, just stuff where I don't need sound. B-roll footage, the footage of Larry getting out of bed, etc. So I had a nice slow morning, did that, had a nice hot bath, but I made the bath water too hot, and then I got too, in the bath, couldn't even finish a chapter of my book. On my bucket list to read has always been Phantom of the Opera. I love the musical so much, and I would love to see it on stage. That's on my bucket list. But of course, I watch a movie all the time, and I've always wanted to read the book. And then recently I found the book at the thrift store for $1, so that was exciting. And so that means I don't have to rent it from the library, and there's no pressure to get it read in a certain time frame. That's where I kind of freak myself out with ADHD, and can't get things done in a certain time frame. So I like to buy books for that reason. It's a bit more of a difficult read for me just because, I don't know, it's just a different style of writing, but that's okay. I am probably halfway through right now. So I'm just gonna turn on YouTube on Steve's tablet thing here. Steve is home today, but I just sent him back down to the basement. He played with Larry for about half an hour. Larry's now tired. So I sent Steve back down to the basement because I said I'm going to work on this and probably do some video editing so he can come back up later and we'll watch hockey. Hockey today starts at 1 p.m. and it goes all the way until the evening. So they staggered the games, thank God, because sometimes it's only games in the evenings and it's so annoying. But today it starts at 1 and there's games all day. I'm so excited. I love hockey so much. So probably do this for now, some video editing, then we'll have lunch and, do whatever. This is my very last piece of white. Of course, I bought the French vanilla stuff at Michael's, but this isn't going to match. Like that won't match the white. There's quite a big difference. I'll show you. No, I can't show you because I already put it into the vintage blanket, the orange retro one. Duh, Melissa. I only have black left in my bag down here. So that's my plans for the time being. I'm going to put you on time lapse for me working on this and watching YouTube and all that fun stuff.
I forgot to film a clip for this vlog, so here is the clip I am using for a reel/short. Leftover basil pasta for lunch. Taking time to tidy up the kitchen a bit. Now it's time to clean the bathroom. What a glamorous job.
Does this guy know how to party or what?
Lunchtime. Love me a good charcuterie plate. Or, as I call it, charcuterie.
It's about 6 p.m. on Saturday, and Steve went into the city because he was craving his favorite meal from a restaurant. I don't know if it's his favorite restaurant, but he was like, I'm going to go into the city and get us food. And I was like, okay, all right, enjoy. So he just took off, and I'm going to finish this Bun the Snuggler that I started yesterday because Steve got home, and I can't concentrate on amigurumi when he's all up in my grill. So I'm going to finish it tonight. Last night I just worked on knitted swatches anyways. I was at least productive, but I want to finish this bunny. So I have all the limbs, including the tail, finished, the ears, etc. I just have to make the body. So it shouldn't take too long. I'm going to use an 8mm hook for the body. For the limbs, I used a 7mm. No, the pattern does not call for that, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm a rebel. Unfortunately, this pattern does call for half double crochets in the body, which I really hate doing. I just, what loops do you go into? I mean, I know what loops you're supposed to go into, but sometimes when you're working with, more fuzzy blanket yarn, then you just don't know where they are. I had to pause the body because apparently I did not make the legs last night, so I just had to make the legs. I thought I had made them, but who knows? I think maybe Steve had come home as I was about to start them, and I was like, you know what, screw it. And something that's fun about this dappled yarn is you can, start on one side of the skein. It's usually a bit darker, not as dark as the phasing yarn, but then the other side of the skein is lighter. So that's why I like to make plushies out of these, because it's kind of like a 2-in-1 yarn.
Ma, how about some cuddles as we watch Passionate Kelsey? Yes, yes, yes. Scratch me, wench. You're embarrassing me. What about my street cred?
I now have Bun Bun Snuggler finished. He turned out pretty cute. This is one of the reasons that I hate half double crochet in a plushie. It just creates these stupid holes. I can't stand it in a plushie. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. It did turn out really cute. So the body remains unstuffed because it's half double crochet. And then you switch to single crochet for the head. So I think he's adorable. And I would probably sell this guy for 20 or 25. Ideally, I would love to get 80 for him because I hated making him. But, oh well. I think I just haven't made plushies in a while. And then like had to do all the separate parts. So just wasn't a huge fan of this one. But that's okay. It's nice to have like a good sized bunny for sale. It's now Sunday, February 1st. And happy February. I find it so fun when months start on the Sunday, because to me, Sunday is the start of the week. For Steve, he always says it's Monday because that's the work week. And that's the weekend is when you have your, time off. I'm like, no. I've always pictured it in my brain Sunday to Saturday, like a calendar. Well, at least the calendars that I pick. So in total, Larry had 18 happy days, 6 a-hole days, and 7 snoozy days in January. Ended up putting a fun color to separate the month, and I might change this color every month. I don't know. For now, I use the mint that I was using or wanting to use for the mood blanket from last year. But don't worry, I've already forgiven myself for not getting that done. And it's handy because I keep it right here next to my desk. So every few days, like every 3 days-ish, I add in 3 rows. I have kept up with my crochet life spreadsheet that I have online on my Google. And in total, I made 71 items, and that number completely shocked me. I thought it would be like 45-ish if I was lucky, but 71's pretty good. So let's break that down into categories. My computer is right over here, so that's why I'm looking this way. So I did 33 plushies, 12 blankets, 7 of those blankets for the big chunky yarns, and they take about a day and a half, sometimes one afternoon, depending. 21 swatches, so those are all knitted, so those took a while. And then 3 wearables. But that number adds up to 69, so I am missing 2 items in one of those categories. I don't know where. I've counted a million times on my spreadsheet, and if I'm just missing 2 items, it's fine. So 71 total projects is pretty good. And in total, I used up 74 pieces of yarn completely. It would be so fun if it was 71, 71, 74, and 74, like completely even, but that's pretty cool. And 59 of those were full skeins, 15 of them were partial skeins. And that's everything for the month. I'm pleased with the month, like adding the numbers. Like, it's so satisfying to add the numbers at the end of the month and be like, oh, okay, I did get a lot done. Because in my brain, it didn't really feel like a whole lot. Like, it felt like a lot of swatches because they're knitting and they take a while. But that's okay. I mean, I get paid for them, so I'm not going to say no. And then once I drop off the 2 yarns I had to make these 14 swatches out of, they've already emailed me and said, hey, we still have more. So when you drop those off, let us know in advance so we can put them out in the vestibule for you. And we can just swap out again. So that works out nice, and it's nice that they're thinking of me to make these swatches because money. Maybe in February I will finally find a job. It's been over a year since I lost my job. January 21st was 1 year. Fingers crossed to get something soon. I've applied for probably 15 things every day. It's just such a tough job market out there with everybody looking for work. I've started applying in different towns now. So towns that are 40 minutes away, some are half an hour away, some are 20 minutes away. I just hopefully find something soon. Some days I can keep myself occupied more than other days. It just, depends on schedules and my volunteer schedule, and don't have a lot of plans for today. Steve is home. He was home yesterday as well, so that was nice. Last night, as I mentioned, he wanted to go and get supper in the city, and because he really wanted his favorite pizza. I wasn't sure what he was going to get, but he really likes city pizza. I mean, it's okay. It's no Little Caesars. That's my favorite pizza. And then he was gracious enough to pick me up my favorite Thai chicken wrap from Boston Pizza. If you haven't tried it, it's delicious. And then he also picked up chicken wings for us too, I think at the pizza place, so we could have some for today. So that was really sweet of him. I know honestly he just wanted to get out of the house because he feels cooped up if he's home for an entire day, like heaven forbid. And then in the evening, I think we just continued to watch hockey. Like hockey was on all day yesterday, which was great. I guess I finished up on Swatch last night that you didn't see and you can't see. Plans for today are, I don't know, to be honest with you. I want to organize my office a little bit just because I think I'm done with the chunky blankets right now. Like the two that I have left is Teal Ivy and Blue Lagoon. And I can't find anything to match Blue Lagoon unless I order the coordinating color online, which is that mustard color, but it's called Citronella. And do I really want to order it and make it? Not really. So I want to do like a one skein project with this. I had a friend ask about it because she said, do you have anything yellow? And she loves yellow so much. And I said, well, I have this, but it's like more of like a green yellow. So she's gonna let me know. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna stash this probably on top of my cubes for now anyway. And then Teal Ivy, I could also order more online, or I could put that black with it that I had purchased. But right now I have 2.5 skeins of black, and they're not really big skeins. They're like 30, I think, yards. This plus 60 yards is not gonna do a whole nice big size blanket. And yes, I know I could just order from Yarn Inspirations because, you know, that's Spin Right's website and stuff, but the shipping, once you add like the big chunky yarns, they have to ship in a big box. And then it cost you $19 for shipping. So I'm like, no. I'm not gonna pay $20 for shipping just for a few skeins of yarn. I'm happy to pay $20 shipping so if I'm ordering like $500 worth of yarn, but not for just a few skeins.
Later that evening.
Good morning and happy February 2nd. It's Groundhog Day today. I'm wondering, in your area, do they have Groundhog Day? Which basically means there's a groundhog that we all follow and worship when it comes to predicting springtime. And Steve and I were talking about this yesterday. I had said, imagine explaining this to like an alien that comes in from outer space. And they're like, what's Groundhog Day? And you have to say, oh, we all listen to a groundhog predict whether it's going to be 6 weeks of winter or spring is coming soon. And it's so funny because when you think about it, I found a bunny pattern that I absolutely love, and I think it turns out so freaking cute. I don't have the bunny finished, or like the finished bunny with me up here. Since I love them so much, I thought, you know what, last night while we were watching the third period of the hockey game up here, I would bring up some yarn and do some ears, so that's what you will see next in the time lapse. And then once those were done, I was able to do one pink body, and then it was time to call it quits for the night because I was tired. We had a great day yesterday. Steve was in a great mood, so it was really a nice day. It was just a great day. We started out the morning with, just spending some time together. And then in the afternoon, when Larry went in for his nap time, we went for a Sunday drive, like a bunch of old fogies. But that's okay. We went for like an hour drive to like a town that we visit every once in a while. They have our favorite drinks, ices. So these things here, I'll put a picture. They're very rare to find here in Canada, but more places are getting them now. So that's exciting. But they also have a nice Walmart up there, and then a giant tiger and a grocery store, other things. But we went to Walmart. I got 2 more skeins of the black fluffy yarn to make another blanket, like to supplement more black into another blanket. We went to the giant tiger and got some like hand soap and just walked around, really, like nothing really all that exciting. But it was a nice afternoon as well as a great morning, a great evening. And, it was great. I was thinking about it last night. Steve was already asleep, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? There's not one thing that I asked him for yesterday that he said no to. So that was just so sweet. And remember last summer, Steve kept encouraging me to take the summer off after being unemployed. And he had said, just enjoy your hot girl summer. And, you and I laughed about it because Steve doesn't really use social media, so I didn't know where he learned that term. But I don't remember what he ended up saying. But he had said, oh, I heard it. But who knows, maybe it's just on the interwebs somewhere. So before he fell asleep last night, I said, thank you so much for a great day. It was amazing. He said, you had a nice day? And I said, yeah, like everything that we did was basically for me, and I appreciate it. And he had said, well, it was a hot girl weekend. And that made me laugh because every once in a while he'll come out with something and it's just comical. So this morning I've already made one bunny body. I have 2 bunny bodies finished. I have the pink over there and then I just did the purple. So basically right now what I'm doing is the body is all the way up to where you have to put in the tail because I didn't bring up the white yarn for the tail, but that's okay. But they're just so cute. And this pattern is by Miss Blue Buttons. I don't think I said the name earlier, but of course I'll have the thumbnail there. And I think it's just so cute. Like when you put the ears on, oh, be still my heart. Adorable. So I've been making a whole bunch of these in like pastel colors. For what purpose? Probably for the farmer's market at some point. And you know, right now they're just fun to make. And I haven't made a plushie in a while. I probably will do more of the Bun Bun Snuggler from Madeline May Co. / Todd plus James. It's like a good snuggler looking pattern more so than any of the other ones that I've purchased. But in the meantime, this morning on Groundhog Day, I'm going to make 2 more bodies, I think, and then I'll go downstairs and actually start my day. I forgot to tell you all, I ended up ordering a new tripod for the bedroom up here because I was sick of lugging my other one up and down. And this one's going to stay up here because it's a lot heavier. It's aluminum and it's magnet like my other one, which is nice. But it's really cool because the way I got that time lapse last night is I had the tripod right here and I had like the phone facing down so we could get like my hands crocheting. So that was really cool because like this tripod is different than my other one. It just, you know, it folds down more when it comes to like where I have my phone. It's pretty cool. So I'm enjoying it and I probably should do some more time lapses just like that.
Larry was acting like an overtired butthole, so I left early for an appointment. There were a few goodies at my usual thrift store, but I was a good girl, left with nothing. The weather had warmed up to -9 degrees Celsius, and the sun was out. Can't ask for anything better in February.
It's still Monday. It's been a busy day. Don't mind my breathing. I might be able to edit it out, but I'm having some lung issues this week. It's nothing new for me, so don't worry too much. So I woke up Larry this morning. Well, he was awake before I got him up, so got him out of bed around 10. And he was just in a mood once again, just like last week, Monday and Tuesday. So who knows? But he's acting a little bit better now that he had a 5-hour nap, so heaven forbid, right? Didn't really buy a whole lot. I was hoping to find some more thrifted yarns, but no. Nothing. I think I went to 3 different thrift stores and 2 other stores, but I got things there, so. At one thrift store, I was able to find some more Christmas yarn for my corner to corner blanket. And I paid $5 for this. It was like 3 full skeins, so don't mind if I do. I also wanted to go to Michael's to get some of this mystical yarn because I think it'll match the grapevine colors that I have up there. That one right there. So I'm hoping it'll match. I'm assuming it will. They didn't have any of the pink shade, but that's fine because I really wanted the purple. Because 1, I think it'll match, and 2, I already had those other pinks up there, so I didn't want to make a too pink of a blanket. So we got 2 of these. And since these are the Bernat brand, they are 300 grams and 32 yards. It was a 30% off coupon this week, so I think I paid like $12-ish, or $11.85 for each of these. The Loops and Threads Fluffy Chenille, which is that stuff up there, not like the grapevine one, but the solid pink colors. They are, I think, like 28 yards. So I was comparing them in store, and sure, that other Loops and Threads Fluffy Chenille is $11.99. These are $14.99, so yes, they are cheaper. And like I'm sure it works out like per yard just fine, but they didn't have the right colors, so I had to go with the Bernat blanket. And then I realized, and I'm pretty sure this is true, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have a springtime notepad, so I got Snoopy. And I know it's like Valentine's Day, but I thought it would work for spring as well. It just has to jot it down with Snoopy and some kisses or hearts, whatever. At the thrift store, I got this. They wrapped it for me so it wouldn't break or anything. It's not something I need, I just thought it was cute. It's like a little sand castle that's like Valentine's Day theme. It's little cupids on it and some hearts. So I just thought it was cute for some decor in the office. And then at my local-ish thrift store, I like to support them because they're local-ish. And they always have gift bags out. So they had seasonal ones, so some Valentine's Day ones, and they're 50 cents each. So it's a lot cheaper than buying, say like, a 50 pack from Amazon or whatever, because those are still expensive. So I like to support them, and then I'll use these next time I go to a market. And I thought they were pink and pretty, so I wanted to get some while I was there. They had a few other solid colors today, so that was nice. I usually buy the 50-cent ones. There are some for like $1, $2. They're more like fancy, but the 50-cent ones work just fine. So I got 10, so 10 of these for $5. And everything you purchase at that local thrift store goes back into our community, so of course I'm going to support them. They had a few other things at the thrift store, but I didn't notice until after I checked out, and there was like 10 other people in line after I checked out, so I was like, that's okay. And it was just little Valentine's decor for the office here. So that's my crafting slash thrifting slash shopping adventure today. I don't know why I said crafting. Happy Tuesday afternoon from Larry and I. Because it's the last afternoon of this week's vlog, Larry and I want to show you all the bunny patterns that we have done and made so far.
We do we? Since when? I did not agree to this.
Well, you're sitting here, so you are going to participate, sir.
Fine, if I have to.
So the first bunny is from Plushie Co. Patterns, and it's a cute little pattern. I think it's just adorable. I do regret doing the tail and not pure white. I had done it out of a yarn that I didn't realize was so closely matching to Cloud 9, like this yarn. And, oh well, I should have done it out of pure white, but that's okay. So it's a standing bunny option. And it's probably the smallest standing bunny that I've ever done or seen or whatever. So really cute. And then we have Bun Bun the Snuggler. That's by Todd plus James, Madeline Mako.
Wishes smelled like bacon.
I didn't like making this one as much as I wanted to like making it. I think it's just because I wasn't in the mood to make plushie that day and I forced myself to do it. It worked out nice. As I mentioned when I made it, I don't like half double crochet on plushies. I just don't like it. It's fine on like the ears of things or like the arms and legs, you know, and stuff. And like the body isn't stuffed, but I just don't like half double crochet on plushies. But I forced myself to do it. If I made this one again, I would definitely do single crochet for the body as well. So everything is crocheted around on this one. The only thing I have to sew on to the ears, I believe, from what I remember, is the ears. Everything else is crocheted in, including the tail that you make beforehand, legs and arms as well. The next little cutie is by Murphy Crochets, and I think it's so cute. I could move the one eye over a little bit. I will admit this one is wonky in person as well, not just on camera. If I made this one again, I would do different color feet, just because, you know, they're bobble stitches and they're not like easy to see, but that's okay. So if I made this one again, I'd probably do different color feet. The tail is already like a nice white variegated I used. And yeah, it was adorable. You do the ears separate afterwards and you sew them on. And the ugly bunny that I made, it's so ugly. But I think it's because of the yarn that I chose. Because if you look at Crochet Me Zaddy's thumbnail, he did a solid color and it looks totally fine. So I don't know, it's just the yarn that I chose. And then the pink of the nose that I did matched too well to that yarn and just, I don't know. I'm going to try and make another one in a solid color, see if I like it more. But it is a fun shape and it's just easy to do. So that was nice. Although it was a little bit confusing because like you work it from the top down, but you're so used to making, you know, like the magic circle and then considering like the ears would be like up here. So as I was working it, I'm like, how is this going to be a bunny? So trust the process type of moment, but it is cute. Like it's a cute pattern and easy to work up, but the yarn I chose was ugly for this pattern. If I did this one again, I probably would make the ears a little bit longer. I think he has you do 5 chains and you work back down certain stitches. I would probably do like 7 or 8. But for now, this would go in my $5 bin. And my favorite bunny pattern, I have already made 7 of. I want to get up to 10, so I will be doing that this week at some point. And it's by Miss Blue Buttons. I've never seen her patterns before, and I was happy that I bought this one because it's my favorite. It's so cute. So you can do the ears either up or down. And I asked Steve, the husband, last night, I was like, what do you prefer? He's like, honestly, they're both adorable. So I'll show you both. So here's the first one that I did. I gave him little like eyelashes. This is the first time I've done eyelashes. And I was like, you know what? I seen other people doing it and I think it looks adorable. So it was my turn to do it. So here's the bunny with the ears down. And here he is with ears up. It's just so cute. I love them both so much. I've been doing like white tails on all of them. And just adorable. And the ears stay up so well. Like, you know, you tack them a certain way, right? You figure that out on your own type thing, but so cute. So I have these two. I did a solid pastel pink. This one I should have, you know, moved the ears down a little, like one more row, and then it would have flopped down like more, but that's okay. Here we have a mint colored bunny. It's so cute. You have a pastel lilac bunny. Well, maybe it's not pastel. It's like a medium lilac, I guess. This was a Mainstays Walmart yarn I got from Alexandria in her yarn haul. But it's an adorable pattern. I love it so much. And then I did one out of the Bernat Baby Blanket Dappled in the color Almost Apricot or Abracadabra Apricot. I can't remember. I think it's Abracadabra Apricot. And once again, I mean, these are kind of like half up, half down. Either way, it's adorable. And no matter how you sew the ears on. Kind of wish I had moved these down like one more row and like back a bit more, but that's okay. It's fine. Somebody's gonna find it and love it. And then I also made this adorable one. This is a variegated yarn that I have. And I love the way she turned out. I also did eyelashes on this one. So I plan on making 3 more. I have 2 yarns here in Living Room set aside. One of them is, I don't remember what it's called. This one here. Is it Toasted Marshmallow? I don't remember. Or maybe it's whipped cream. I feel like whipped cream's lighter, but this might be whipped cream. And then I also have this one. I don't remember what it's called, but it's adorable. And I figured they'd make good Easter bunnies.
Winch, I am trying to snooze.
I was so excited that Larry did this. He usually doesn't allow me to put anything on him.
Are you seeing this? Saying help. Oh dear God. The torture. Here I am just trying my best to demand some belly scratches, and the winch puts something called Easter bunnies on me. Life sure ain't fair, but I am willing to participate. She controls the food. Yes, yes. Scratch me, winch. That's the good stuff.
As I mentioned, it's Tuesday, so it's the last day of this vlog, and next week's vlog will start tomorrow. I know I said that Larry was being an a-hole yesterday, Monday, so he did turn his mood around after he slept for an additional 5 hours while I was out of the house. I got him up when I got home from my appointment and, you know, totally sweet, wanted to cuddle, being adorable. So I marked him down as happy because I think he was just overtired in the morning. I don't know if he didn't sleep well overnight. No idea. And I brought out my little heart stickers for this month because, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up. So I figured I would use those for his happy days. I was using them faithfully last year, but, you know, just didn't for a while once I moved my calendar over this way. Because where am I going to keep all my stickers? I really don't have like a spot right here to keep them. But I figured in this little baggie it's fine. So remember the other day I had said I picked up something for my friend. I wanted to support her small business. And I said it's an inappropriate item. So if you're easily offended by swear words, look away. But I will hide one letter and you can guess what it says. So it's not the word aunt. It's a different word, but it's my favorite swear word. My best friend and I call each other this all the time. So I got that made, and it's just like a little desk sign, and yeah, it's just cute. I want to support her business, so got that from her. She said she hadn't made a swear word or one yet, so she was excited to make that for me. She said most people order them as teacher gifts or, you know, gift for like a coworker, etc. But I wanted one for myself, and I'll probably order a matching one with the same word for my best friend, maybe for Christmas or her birthday or something. I don't have much else to talk about today. I do have something to do on the computer at 3 p.m. And then after that, I'll probably take a bath, and then I'll do my laundry because I want the hot water for my bath rather than laundry first. You know, usually there is enough hot water. Steve always says there's like 2 bath waters full of like hot water, so like I'm good. But, you know, a little paranoid about it because I like my bath at a certain temperature. As I put in the text box in that last clip about the bunnies, I am going to do a bunny pattern roundup video. I have a whole bunch saved on Instagram that are free patterns, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to make those, and I'll do a whole video out of bunny pattern roundups. Get ahead of the game, I guess, a bit this year. Most people are focused on Valentine's Day still, but I'm gonna jump ahead a bit. Might do a few other like spring looking things in that video, but maybe not, maybe, I don't know. So I look forward to making those bunnies. I think everything I have saved on Instagram is like 18 of them. I think 3 of them I have made before, and I'm just going to put the pictures up of those. So I'd say another 15-ish patterns I want to try. Possibly. I might narrow that down to like 10, just because there are some that I looked at like quickly and I'm like, I don't know if I want to make it, just because of like sewing pieces and, you know, all that stuff. So we'll see. I don't know yet, but look forward to that in the future. So that'll be fun. I have to edit, I think, like 3 days worth of content. I fell a bit behind this week. I've focused hard on those knitted swatches just to, you know, get them going and, you know, continue the momentum while I have it rather than editing. So it's kind of fallen by the wayside, but that's okay. That's why I stopped the vlogs on Tuesday and I have until basically Saturday night to get them edited. In the meantime, please remember that you are strong, you are beautiful, you are loved, and the world appreciates having you here. I will see you in next week's vlog.